Good evening, Doc Severson here for the Theo Night video for Monday, July 24th. I'm recording this video a couple of hours before the closing bell on Monday, and starting Monday night we're going to start to see some big movement around here, and this is why I will use a chart like this. This is just a normal tick chart. It doesn't really matter what the value is of this. I like the tick chart because what it does is it handles all of those big movements up and down that we're going to see after earnings. So typically what you will see on a time chart is the first couple of minutes you'll just see a lot of movement up and down like this, and it doesn't really make any structure to the chart. But with a tick chart, all those transactions will actually show actual movement like this, will actually draw some nice patterns, so you can get a much better feeling as to whether something is trending up, trending down, instead of just watching one single candle just sort of squirm around the place in the vertical dimension. Now, the whole activity this week is going to center around earnings releases. There's 190 companies of the S&P 500 that are going to be reporting this week. So this is the big week, and there are three huge tech companies. So most of the big tech stocks are going to be reporting this week. You know, the Facebooks, the Google tonight, Amazon's going to be reporting tonight, Apple will be reporting next Tuesday. So let's go over to a longer term chart. Let's go through a couple of the candidates for this week that are going to be reporting, and let's see if we can get a sense as to whether they're really stretched to the upside or whether they're in consolidation. We'll start with Google, which is going to report tonight right after the closing bell. And over the years, Google has been a terrible stock to bet against. So for every downside surprise that we've had on Google, we probably had somewhere on the order, I mean, I could go through the results here, but we probably had somewhere on the order of at least a 9-to-1 upside surprise for Google, at least that. It seems like more of that. I can only remember a couple of downside surprises for Google, and those got bought pretty quickly. So the question is, does this have any room left at all for this to squeeze to the upside? And perhaps there is some. There is a fair amount of weekly energy here, because what you'll recognize this as is a weekly bull flag. So nice pattern, although this has already started to really go berserk and ballistic to the upside. So we could have some movement to the upside. We could see some short squeeze above 1,000. You know, with everything that's sort of pushed up to the top there these days, I think the upside is limited. Now, at the end of tonight's report, I'll talk about one specific strategy that we use to trade earnings reports if we do feel that we have an edge with those. So that's going to be the big show after hours today on Monday. Starting tomorrow, we start to get Caterpillar. So Caterpillar is up against all-time highs, very close to this. So again, squeeze territory. This one obviously has a lot more energy available to it. So this one is, even though it's been in a strong trend, it has been in consolidation lately. So this one does have the potential of creating an upside squeeze and a little bit of upside movement, especially into all-time highs. Another one that's going to report tomorrow is McDonald's. This one has gone, apparently all-day breakfast is a big thing. I can't see how much more room to the upside this one has. If any of these, this would be perhaps a good candidate for a downside reaction for this. So a lot of good news has already been priced into McDonald's. We'll see whether or not, I mean, look at the earnings that they've had, actually been growing very nicely along the way. But the thing here is that this market's been just crawling along a razor blade lately. All it's going to take is one slip and the contagion will kick in. But so far, so good. All right, so now we're going to slip over to Wednesday. So Wednesday, the big deal on Wednesday is going to be Facebook. And Facebook also has very little room. This one's already rallied very strongly. It rallied from about 148 or so all the way up to close to 166. Big move here into exhaustion right now. This one has very little room to run additionally to the upside. But again, just like Google, this one's been really tough to bet against. So even though right now the the reward to risk on this one favors the downside move. I would not bet against this. So another stock that's happening on Wednesday is going to be Boeing Aerospace. This is another rocket. This one is almost just beyond belief. Again, this one has been tough to bet against with look at the earnings that they've had on here recently, just amazing. So a lot of orders coming in through Boeing, and the stock is playing catch up right now. But again, reward to risk is obviously favors the downside move here, but are you going to get in front of that freight train? So Boeing will be interesting to watch on Wednesday. There's also some of the old school like Coke. This one does not look as good right now, setting up perhaps with a lower high. Right, so obviously doing well, fairly strong, but not to the degree that the other ones are. Now we get into Thursday. Let's look with Thursday. Obviously, the big one after market is Amazon. This is just the market leader that's out there right now. I would not get in front of this one at all. So even though technically shows that we are at exhaustion at this point, we don't have that signal on the weekly chart. And so again, I would not get in front of this one to the downside. Some other stocks that are showing on Thursday are going to be like UPS. So UPS is going to be reporting. This one has been doing well, modestly well to the upside, not berserk like a Boeing, but doing well. There's MasterCard. MasterCard is one of these that has just been going completely parabolic to the upside, just completely parabolic. So a lot of good news has been priced into this one. And then we finally get to Friday. We have some of the airlines which have been doing well. American Airlines, this one's actually been selling down a little bit lately, so this may be an opportunity to take this one back up to the upside. Okay, so that's a rare one that's actually been selling down. And then we have a couple of energy stocks like Chevron. Chevron, like every other energy stock, has not been doing that great lately. And ExxonMobil, of course. So again, 190 stocks are going to be reporting across the S&P this week. There's plenty of opportunity here if you feel that any particular stock is perhaps already priced in the movement to the downside, or perhaps is getting a little bit skeptical ahead of the earnings. Now, traditionally, the way that earnings have been placed where, of course, all the implied volatility pumps up everything. Everybody sets up an iron condor or some type of at-the-money strangle, and then the implied volatility comes out after the earnings, and great. But we're getting so much movement these days that it's just not statistically favorable for that. So what we prefer to do is just a simple at-the-money spread. So if we're going to do something, let's go back to Boeing Aerospace and say that this one's already got way too much good news priced into this. What we're going to do for this is we're going to take the shortest possible options series here, and we're going to wait until the very last moment. We don't want to get in front of this one too early. Usually the last hour of trading before the announcement, if it's a PM announcement, or the same thing the day before. You have to enter the day before on a morning announcement. So if we're going to take this one to the downside. Now, what I don't like about this is the wider spreads here. We have 2.5 point wide spreads here. So what that means is that your risk is going to be limited to, it's going to be, should be less than $1.25 here. So in this case, playing an at-the-money spread is going to be about $1.07 at midpoint, which isn't bad. That's not bad at all. If we were to take this one on the other side here, this is the problem these days is with skew. So normally we'd be able to pay about $1.25 for an at-the-money call spread, but because of the fact that we have all this volatility skew to the downside, we end up paying a lot more for the call spreads for this. So this one's definitely not worth it. So make sure you factor that in. Make sure that you, if you do have a bullish bias on any of these earnings trades, that you look at the trade that you're going to be setting up and make sure you don't spend too much more for that volatility skew that's in there. Hey folks, before you take off, just one quick reminder again about the Arizona Traders Retreat that we're having in Scottsdale in September 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is not to be missed. Again, if you've noticed here, we are actually starting to fill up. We are starting to fill up for this. If you go down to here, you can actually see who's signed up for this session already. So what's important about attending a workshop like this, if you're on the fence, is that not only do you get to meet us and ask us live the questions, you get to meet us during the breaks and ask us questions and get really answers to all of the issues that you've got, right? So not only that, but also the important thing is that there's going to be another 199 people out there that are doing exactly what you're doing. So not only meeting us, getting to see the material live, get your questions answered, but also meet this amazing group that we have put together, which is very, very quickly approaching sold out status. So keep that in mind. Now, don't forget that if you're not a Total Theo member, your attendance to this workshop will include 1 year of Total Theo. Now, if you don't know what Total Theo is or what that's all about, first of all, there's a live element to it. We're basically live about 6 hours a day through video and audio in the chat room itself, as well as you can see all the archives that we have for every month that we've done this, but also the classes that we do. So we can look at some of the classes that we have done live for our students. So in other words, if you want to know about iron condors or high probability in-out spreads or weekly options or calendar spreads or fractal energy trading or trading a small account or doing weekly diagonal spreads, pairs trading, trading futures contracts, using fibs in your trading, trading tetrapod spreads, you name it, we have done a class in it over the last couple of years. These will all be available to you as soon as you sign up for this class. Now, the workshop itself features our favorite material and the material that's most requested by our students, such as long and short volatility strategies, neutral options trading strategies, including pairs, calendars, straddles, strangles, how to set it up in a workable portfolio, how to position size, how to work on your mindset, and how to add technical analysis to increase the probabilities of your trading, how to build a trading plan, and a proven formula for day trading as well too. You name it, just about every aspect of trading, whether it's stocks, options, futures, building a portfolio, being able to day trade, being able to trade for a living is something that we're going to be talking about during this 2-day class. And of course, it does come with the Total Theo 12-month membership. And to give you an idea what the event schedule is like, first of all, on Thursday night, the 7th, we're going to be having a happy hour with you guys. So meeting everybody in person, you're going to get a chance to, rub elbows with not only the instructors out there, but other expert traders that are part of our live trading room every single day. And on Friday and Saturday, we're going to be doing, of course, morning session, afternoon session, and breakfast is served for those of staying in the hotel. You can see the conference room we're going to be doing this at. One thing I'd like to point out to you is if you've been through seminars like this before, sometimes we wedge everybody into these things, and it's so uncomfortable. By the end of 2 days, you're ready to go. We're going to have nice chairs for you guys, so we're going to make you very, very comfortable. It's going to be an excellent facility. You can see how beautiful this place is, and you're going to want to stay around for maybe a couple of days after that, maybe extend your stay into the weekend. This is such a nice place. So full day Friday, full day Saturday, rubbing elbows with us, talking to us about questions that you have for trading as well. Full breakfast, lunch, cocktail party, discount, TheoTrade group room rate, Wi-Fi resort fee is going to be waived for those staying at the hotel, discount on spa services. You can go play golf out there. This is going to be a great event. It's going to be a high-class event, and it's going to be absolutely packed with information, the ability to talk to our instructors out there and really walk away with a full trading plan and give you confidence to be able to hit this market running when it starts again in the most important part of the year, which is the beginning of the fourth quarter here as we wrap up 2017. So hope to see you out there.